feed. Apparently the YouTube link is not working, so that's always absolutely phenomenal. But today we're going over some pretty gnarly headlines. We have a massive artist arrest at one of their galleries, which is kind of strange. We have a collection that's coming out and saying that they're going to be doing 10% royalties. We've had the conversation around teams wanting to have royalties, and I feel like for a long time there was also the discussion of certain royalty amounts being too high, but now that's almost not a discussion. So a little bit of a reminder about that. Roblox doing some interesting things with digital assets. We got Gary V involved in certain bits of it. We're going to talk a little bit about Readyverse, and then we're going to have to upload the YouTube video afterwards because this thing is absolutely chocked MTolly. What is going on in the world of MTolly? Now, one thing also is I ordered some stuff the other day, right, from the good old mail of the world, right? And I put in the wrong address. There's no way to change it. Like, once it's shipped, it's done. How the hell is there not like a better solution where you can have a database with people's name that would automatically link or recognize when the address is mucked up, or not even send the damn thing if it's not the right one? Just unbelievable. When blockchain adoption. All right, projects ranked by their percentage of sales above floor price. So starting things off with a little bit of the cost. So DGods, it's off to the side next to this little pudgy, but it's at 7%, which is insinuating that 7% of the sales of DGods have been above floor, and then you can see that it goes up, and you'll recognize some of these collections. Bored Ape Yacht Club, the Sappy Seals, Pudgy Penguin, Chimpers, and then it goes up. Azuki, MAYC. Oh, that's interesting. So Mutant Ape Yacht Clubs are like 4% higher, or have had 4% higher on their percentage of fees. Azuki, and then Good Vibes Club. All right, over on the Good Vibes Club, you can see that it's actually the highest at 33% next to Azuki's 32%. But it does show the good vibe. Sometimes, listen, it's just about that. The expectations being set and people having a good time with it. So the conversation around the 10% royalties thing, I don't know. When was the last time you looked and seen for various NFT collections what the royalties was? How many of them have them at 10%? So there was some deal, and there's this collection called Jimmy. And on ApeChain, this was something that got super, super popular when it first came out. And then, as per usual within Web3, there was some fallout with the founders, this, that, and the other thing. Some community member, one of the team members, ended up buying it for an absolute bag. And then they're like, hey, we're like relaunching, doing a new contract and all this kind of stuff, and we're going to adjust to 10% royalties. And so scrolling through the comments here quickly, there was one thing that I saved. We're right here. Of somebody saying, check Yuga first, 10% way too high, it's going to make it illiquid. And the Jimmy person responded saying, it will help us deliver 3D models, ain't cheap, and it help fight bots. So I don't get, like, I don't think you need to have 10% royalties to fight bots. That component of it just doesn't make, like, any sense to me to begin with. And then Joker responded saying, it doesn't work like that. You will get more volume and more net return at a lower royalty level, which I completely agree with. When anybody's trading anything and they're losing 10% of trade, that just feels absolutely grotesque. Bitcoin Magazine highlighting the Crocs has got another shoe. It's about the Bitcoin. What do you guys think? When was the last time you wore Crocs? Me? This morning. Hell yeah. The future of shopping starts here. Roblox creators and brands can now sell physical merch in-game with our new Shopify integration, powered by our commerce APIs, plus our new authorized merchandiser program app. Let sellers connect physical retail products to digital rewards. So interesting on the verbiage within that one. What does that exactly mean? Is Roblox getting into the space? Is this just simply digital rewards? And we say, that's it. That's the end of the story. Because it's supposed to be about the hidden tech. That's one thing we've completely forgotten about. We say, oh, you know what? We want everybody to get adopted, use blockchain, yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, we also say, yeah, we don't want people to have to know that they're using blockchain, but then complain when it's not up there. But Readyverse, again, over on the Featureverse side, they are building out an ability or world where you can be whatever you want. And in this case, it is a giraffe wearing jeans. So these metaverse worlds are starting to come. We have Other Side, we have the Sandbox, which we got their stuff going on, and we got Wilder World, we got Readyverse here, which is kind of like a launcher into a bigger world and all the different characters. And I don't know. I think a lot of stuff that's happening in the space is fun if you'd be paying attention. And Abstract with some big news as well this morning. The latest Red Bull Racing fan experience is coming to Abstract. Grab free iconic race moments from their incredible racing legacy. Brought to you by Gates.io, an Oracle Red Bull Racing partner. Here's how it works. And then this is like 7 seconds, 24 digital collectibles. Bum, 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 bum. In the moment, we got a ticket. It's on Gate and Abstract. 24 races. Ba, 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 ba. 24. Okay, it just repeats that. There's not a whole. Oh, okay, it's on below. I thought it was in the. I thought it was in the video. 24 iconic moments to collect. Free collectibles. 4 drop windows. Complete your sets. Chance to win exclusive prizes. Rare editions available. And then they have a drop schedule with Monaco, Silverstone, Singapore, Abu Dhabi, and then they have a couple of guest artists. Which this is actually awesome. Timpers is the one who does the Chimpers collection, if you're familiar with that. Dutch Tide, creator of Midnight Express. I'm not familiar with that. Apologies. Alien Queen has done some really, really cool pieces. One of my favorite ones was like the D-Gens. I think it's what they renamed it, but it was this like crazy face, and it was all over the place, and I very much enjoy that. Livy, not familiar with them. Mendez, not familiar with that either. In 0009, not familiar, but still super cool that they have a couple of artists. And I think that's one thing within Web3 too, is when you have like an artist rendition or a take of something, it's just nice to have overall. And in the esports side of things, Red Bull also just recently acquired or brought on their gaming team, Kadrill, which is like the biggest League of Legends streamer that there is out there. And yeah, I don't know. Red Bull trying to get his name out there even more so. All right, Drifter Shoots. Are you familiar with Drifter Shoots? If you're not, let me kind of give you a little bit of a lowdown. So they are an individual who has gone and taken some of the craziest photos that might make you throw up. So climbing buildings in New York in the snow, freezing to death, taking a camera, getting absolute wild angles of things. So here's an example of some massive tower, and this person climbed it, right? Drifter climbed it to the point where it got massive recognition. They've done a bunch of NFT sales that have done a lot. Gary Vaynerchuk for their gift goat a couple I don't know, is it years or months back? I guess it would be like a year plus at this point, but went out with Drifter to take a photo and give them as a gift to people that own the gift goats. So it was a very, very big individual. And then they were having like a gallery, and then they got arrested at the gallery. And like, so obviously you look at like the photos and you're like, okay, like climbing and scaling buildings. Yeah, I mean, you're probably never going to get a permit for that because there's no like safety ropes or anything like that. But they have a gallery that's going on, and then they get arrested. And it's like, what in the hell is going on? I wish I was writing this to congratulate Drifter Shoots on the beauty of his art in tonight's opening of the gallery solo show and the photo book. Wow, it was gorgeous. NYPD wanted to disrespect the art moment. Therefore, it came to rip him out of it. Stay strong, my friend. So I saw like a whole bunch of different takes on this, and I don't really know if there's necessarily like a right or wrong one because we're waiting for the details of it. And it's like, was the arrest just because of the photos? Somebody made a comment saying, oh, well, what if this is performative? And I'm like, okay, like sure, it gets attention, but at the same time, like, I don't know, I feel like that's not like the greatest thing ever. So we'll see what happens. But again, if you've not seen Drifter Shoots, one of the craziest artists in terms of photography that we've seen, especially within Web3. So then you go over to Cointelegraph, all right? And then on the editor's choice side, it says, Animoca's Yatsiu says student loans can supercharge DeFi growth. There's an article from Pranksy, which we've seen a couple of big NFT collectors. We had Bored Elon the other day getting highlighted by OpenSea. We have Pranksy now getting interviewed by Cointelegraph inside the anonymous life of an NFT legend, an NFT collector. Pranksy was one of the people that like absolutely swept the hell out of Bored Apes when they first minted. Canada lags with stablecoin adoption, but there's room to catch up. Gambini Canada, I'm like, we don't really hear any of that. Like you go on the news and it's people just like bashing other parties that they don't like, and our media is absolutely cooked beyond belief. So if they ever talk about crypto, it'll be interesting. The AI revolution won't be centralized. Superior agents are coming for bigger tech. But then here, Stephen Ladden from yesterday says tariff fluxes pushes brands to bet big on digital merch. And this was like my first reaction when all this stuff was happening with the tariffs. I'm like, I don't think digital things are affected that way. And we've had the thesis before of like, if you have a brand or an IP that people like and you can get them to appreciate something digitally without having to have that physical touch, man, it's so much cheaper because all you need is the art and then obviously the people that do like the smart contracts and whatnot. But that's it, right? Comparatively to the physicals of having to sketch it out, getting it made, quality issues, shipping issues, going around the world, yada, yada, yada. So Dapper Labs, Khan told Cointelegraph why digital merch is becoming the go-to strategy for major brands like NBA, NFL, and Disney, which all of those are doing various collections on Dapper. As more and more, I should say Flow, but Dapper is like the labs in front. Anyway, as more and more businesses are impacted by tariff volatility, some executives like Ridhima Khan, vice president of business development at Dapper Labs, are viewing the assault on the cost of physical goods as another use case for digital markets powered by blockchain to shine. In quotes, I'm seeing a lot of brands rethinking where revenue and fan engagement come from. Khan said during an exclusive interview with Cointelegraph, a lot of franchises like the ones we work with, NBA, NFL, Disney, have already had years of success with digital collection, and we're seeing a lot of brands express interest in digital collectibles as a way to engage with fan bases at a time when physical costs are riskier and unknown. Propelling brands to take a deeper look at digital merch is the desire to better understand fandom. Flow now has tradable highlights like a LeBron dunk or Steph Curry three-pointer that live inside the NBA app and has commemorative NFTs tied to NFL game highlights and NFL All Day. But with Super Bowl ticket stubs and other digital mementos powered by blockchain, which there is, by the way, if you look it up, Ticketmaster does have a whole bunch of different NFL NFTs, but nobody ever talks about it. Digital goods are proving they can unlock deeper in real-life IRL fan experiences courtside or on the field. When you look at the amount of time folks are spending online or in digital environments, which is an absolute ton, it's only increasing, Khan said. That's really motivating brands to identify where their fans are spending time and where they can reach them where they're at. It's also a great way to engage a more global fan base simultaneously versus in a more limited geo-targeted way, which caters more towards the global fan bases that want to engage with these brands. Because fans have become more globalized, the online experiences happens to offer a faster, more accessible environment for digital goods, particularly collectibles, versus the current marketplace for physical goods that's being hampered by enigmatic tariffs. In quotes, average NFT sales are up 7% quarter over quarter, with NFL All Day and NBA Top Shot delivering 2.5 million and 5.6 million respectively, Khan said. We're also seeing total value locked at an all-time high of 44.4 million on Flow, led by protocols like Kitty Punch and other markets that offer next-gen investing and trading opportunities. A trend that's signaling a broadening use case for blockchain and crypto just beyond NFTs. So we're not going to go through the rest of it and all that kind of jazz, but again, overall, I don't know. I do feel like the overall focal point here on NFTs continues to be just that. But that's going to be it for this edition of X-Feed. Again, a little bit shorter for today. I know that I did it way earlier in the day. Maybe we'll go live later again if some crazy-ass news ends up hitting the fans. But with that said, thank you so much for coming on through, Mr. Umtali. If you guys are watching, again, we had some kind of issue with YouTube, so I got to go upload this on there. But enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you Monday. Peace.